No, that's not it. Hello everyone and welcome to Sorta My Podcast. My name is Vincent Herman, Vin The Human. Sitting to my left,
James Odle, Alpha Spectre.
Unfortunately, Dr. T. Neil Travis Herman will not be joining us on this episode because of Travis's tooth trouble.
Oh no!
He had a little trip to the dentist there and isn't feeling well enough to talk for
Hours on
it because we record a variety of serious shits while we do this too. But yeah, anyways, guys, like Sorta My Brand or our Nerd News page, Sorta My Comics on Facebook. If you want to follow Sorta My Podcast, we're on Instagram and Twitter. And you got to be listening to this somewhere, whether it's SoundCloud or iTunes. But while you're there, why not rate, review, follow us, and comment. Commenting is the way to let us know what you like about these shows, what you agree with, what you disagree with. Let's open it up to conversation.
Well, and
have
the
a
best
conversation
part,
with us.
On SoundCloud, like they can comment at a specific point during the track.
Yes.
To join in on what we're saying.
and we will respond. Anyone who is a regular on Sorta My Comics Facebook page, they know that I'm always getting in on these debates.
Yeah.
Ready to respond to people. It might take me some time. I'm a working man. I do work. So always comment. It's always a great thing for us. It's fun to talk to you guys. But there's a new comic that I'm actually going to start reading. And
really?
Yeah. Well, the comic's not new. It's just new to my pool. I'm canceling a lot. Like, I'm canceling Captain Marvel, Captain America, all this shit after Secret Empire. Marvel's really taken a hit from me. And I'm reconsidering some DC shit for financial reasons to make room for a lot of the Dark Knight's Metal shit, because there's a whole checklist. But I cannot pass up on this one because it is Moon Knight.
Really?
Yeah. I like that expression right there. But there's a reason I'm picking up on it. As you know, they're returning to original numbering for a lot of titles, Moon Knight included. They're switching teams on the Moon Knight book. The guy writing it, Max Bemis, is the lead singer of my favorite band, Say Anything.
Really?
Now, apparently he's done a couple independent books, and he's actually worked with Marvel on 2 other books. I think one was maybe a one-shot, and the other one is called X-Men, The Worst X-Men Ever. And I'm really, just based on the title and who's writing it, I want to read that. I love the music because, without getting, because this isn't serious shit, without getting really in-depth into why, I like him as a person. Like, I can get on his level. He seems like a me type of guy.
Well, now, so, are they restarting another Moon Knight series, essentially?
I don't think so.
Because they, like, the issue 15, which I still haven't read because I just don't want to recognize that run ended. Like, there hasn't been a Moon Knight book in a few months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the Jeff Lemire run, which, by the way...
Yeah, it was great.
Great.
Everything you told me about it was just awesome.
So, the fact that they're bringing out another Moon Knight with another writer...
New artists and everything. I really should have written them down, but...
I'll probably get on board. We'll see how it goes.
But, you know what didn't go so well is a conversation you and I had on Twitter. Or not Twitter, on Facebook. Yeah.
Which one?
The one where... I don't remember how it started.
Was it the Flashpoint?
No.
Or was it the...
It was where we were arguing between Superman
or Superboy and Nightwing.
Well, no, it was a whole thing. It started with Superman. Yeah, you're gonna have to bring it up. But yeah. I know it started with Superman, and then I dragged Dick Grayson into it.
God, what?
Here it is.
No, you guys were talking about Huck.
Oh.
And how Huck was like a really good...
And you said, read Invincible, and then like a bunch of other...
Invincible, fuck!
And then a bunch of other messages happened, completely ignoring the Invincible thing, and then I said, fucking, fuck Invincible.
And then a mic drop.
No, not just a mic drop, then catch. He catches it, gives the what, and then I was like, also, hashtag suck it, and then Obama dropping the mic.
To which I respond, fuck Superman.
I responded with a picture of me with glowing red eyes, like I'm about to shoot like heat vision out or something.
And I respond, and Super Vin.
And so I told him that Connor Kent could kick Nightwing's ass.
So Connor Kent being Superboy,
yeah,
and all that. So here starts the nerd fight between me and Vinny.
This is the nerd dick measuring contest
And
that we had.
You know, and it's like I told him, you put Nightwing and Superboy, pit them against each other, and it's just like pitting Batman and Superman.
Yes.
You let Superboy get the drop on Nightwing, he's gonna kill him in one punch.
Of course.
That is a given. You let Superman get the drop on Batman, he's gonna kill him in one punch.
If you have to have a definitive winner, if you have to who would win, just based on averages, I said that Superman or Superboy would have far more unexpected opportunities to just randomly turn on Batman or Nightwing, whether mind control or some sort of virus, or maybe they just got fucking tired of it. And so they're like, just on averages, they have way more opportunities to just snap a fucking neck. And based on that, they would win.
I have no problems admitting that could happen.
You heard it first on the Sort of My podcast. We've given the definitive answer based on science and mathematics without explaining any of it, without it going in detail, that Superman and Superboy would beat Nightwing and Batman. You heard it first here.
At the drop of a hat. Any other scenario, it will always be argued.
Maybe not even at the drop of a hat. Maybe like they're like Superman's across the other side of the planet, and he's just like, I'm gonna go fucking kill Batman, and he just starts zooming across the fucking planet. Batman's still not expecting that. He's got minutes to prepare, but he doesn't know it's coming.
You have to consider that Batman is always prepared for the chance of that happening. That has been stated multiple times.
You also have to understand that Superman always somehow comes out on top. Not even death could take him down.
Okay. He had help.
The bastard flew into the sun and became a god. All right, what did Batman do? Sit in a chair.
It's a hell of a lot easier. I mean, Batman didn't have to fly into a sun. Batman didn't have to do anything. He had a seat and became a god.
Yeah, but not as cool of a god. It's a lot more glowing.
He was a lot more blue.
Well,
no, that's debatable.
Now. All right, well, since we're going to bitch about comic book characters and pit them against each other, why don't we actually talk about the comics that they reside in currently? Okay. So, you started this out last time, right?
Yeah, me, you, then Trav.
Yeah. All right, so I'll start us out of the box. All right, guys, so I'm talking about a variety of books today. First up is Batman number 28. Now, this is War of Jokes and Riddles, Part 3, the new Tom King story happening in the Batman book. And it largely follows this 5-day battle between Deathstroke, who is on Riddler's side, and Deadshot, who's on Joker's side, that ends up leaving 108 civilian casualties. 108 people dead in the midst of this fight.
Wow.
Now, of course, Batman's on the scene, and he's trying to stop them. But as he states, like, he's there when he can be, he stops them when he can, but he's only a year into this. He's a year out from kicking a tree. And these are the two most highly trained assassins and mercenaries in the world. He has a little trouble. He finally catches up with them and puts an end to their shit. It's obvious that this is a really hard thing for Batman in this book, because he starts breaking a little bit while he's telling the story. Like, he goes to tell, because the War of Jokes and Riddles has all been told to Catwoman. It's the narration in it is Batman talking to Catwoman. telling her the story of like this thing that happened back before, like in his early days of being Batman.
Oh,
which is why the costume in these books has looked like the early New 52 stuff. And while he's telling her about each day, the first day this happened, the second day this happened, and by the fifth day he's starting to break. Like he's like, it took 5 days. He's like, on the fifth day, it took 5 days, like shit like that. Like that's how he's telling her, because so many fucking people died and he did everything he could. But it's a really great way to tell this little section of this war, the story, the sprawling story. And I think this is the 4th issue. Although this is part 3, there was like an interlude issue. Okay. And then also technically it's part 4, but it's just a way to add an extra issue on. Pretty much. Whatever, guys. But here's the really cool, here's the really cool thing. Not only do you have this 2-page spread, this like sprawling fight between Deathstroke and Deadshot, but there's another 2-page spread right here of Batman trying to help with the fallout and like pulling people out of wreckage and saving people from fires and shit. So yeah, this has been a really great story, and like I said, there are only 4 issues into it. So it shouldn't be too hard to catch up, but it's been very interesting. And one of the more interesting things about it is the Joker can't laugh. He doesn't find anything funny right now for whatever reason. Yeah, so at the very beginning of it, he's going to these comedy clubs, or actually he's having these comedians audition for him, and if they can't make him laugh, he kills them. So yeah, so
he's just killing people left and right.
Yeah, he's just, I mean, it's the Joker. He doesn't really need much. In fact, if anything, that's the most sound reason he's had for killing random people ever.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's been very, very interesting. Tom King fucking killing it. It had a rocky start. Batman and the Rebirth Initiative had kind of a rocky start, but I feel like it's been pulling it together. I could have done without rooftops. I don't know. Let's see how it plays out, because it's like, Batman ends up proposing to Catwoman, and this is why this is pillow talk, because when they cut back to the panels of Batman talking to her, she's still in the bed. He's standing up. He's in his underwear, but it's not really pillow talk. He's trying to get her to understand exactly what she's in for, and that's another element to the story, is because that's how the story starts getting told, is he wants her to understand something about him. But he's telling the story about this horrible war between these 2 other people. So you wonder where it's going to go, what it's going to reveal about Batman, about Bruce Wayne, and whether their engagement will stick by the end of it. A lot of reasons to read it. And if anything, this issue fucking Deathstroke fights Deadshot. So there you go. If you just need a simple reason to read it,
which is pretty cool in and of itself.
Yeah, that's good enough.
It's that.
Wait. Now I want to surprise our viewers and do a book that most people would never expect me to talk about. I would never do this book normally.
Invincible?
Nope. Fuck Invincible.
The next sound you hear is me punching Vinny.
Yeah. No, this is now brace yourselves here. This is Superman number 29.
Oh, big surprise there.
Now, Odle did point out that, and I'm going to have to track back to find out, but he stands by the idea that I've not done a single episode where I didn't do a book that at least involved Superman. Because last episode I did the issue of Justice League, and obviously that has Superman. So, but the story focused on their children in the future, and then Superman's only in the last couple pages.
Doesn't matter, he was still in it.
So, anyways, yeah. So whatever. I'm doing another Superman book because it's good. I'm gonna do Superman books till people start giving them the sales they deserve. Fuck it, because they do. They're great fucking stories. You've admitted that they sound like great stories. Bob has admitted they sound like great stories.
Oh yeah, I have no problem admitting that. But switch it up, man. Come on.
Nah.
People want to hear about more than just Superman.
Honestly, this issue, fuck, why do I keep saying that? This episode, I could have done 3 Superman books. Because the 2 issues before this, I loved them. They were just great for kids. I want my son to read those 2 books. So yeah, I considered bringing three Superman books into this one, but there's a much more important book that we're gonna get to in a moment that I had to bring on, especially now that we don't have Bob to talk about these things.
Right.
So Superman 29, Minute Longer, Part 1. This is a story where Superman has caught the attention of this case where a large number of children in Metropolis have started going missing. And after investigating this, he learns what's behind it. And with his back against the wall, he ends up sacrificing his body, pretty much, to save all these children. Because it's more or less like, you can hold out and try and fight this evil. And I'm not going to say what this evil is. When you see the cover, you might know. The comic savvy will probably catch on to exactly who is the villain here. I want it to be a surprise because it's really cool reveal at the end. So he gives himself up to this evil entity just to save these children because it is a rock and a hard place. He can't stop this entity from stealing the fear from these children. I mean, that's not giving away too much because, the cover of the book is Superman in Yellow Lantern garb holding up a yellow lantern with his fucking ring. The cover is Yellow Lantern Superman. We don't know if he's Sinestro Corps. We don't know if he just got a yellow lantern. What is he doing? So this is really cool because I feel like it's going to lead into something a little bigger. Because the villain in this is a big name. It's a name comic book readers, DC comic readers anyway, should know. And at the very end, Sinestro pops up.
Well, of course.
And in the next issue is Superman versus Sinestro in this new Yellow Lantern form. So, there's a reason to come into part 2 right there. So I had to talk about this book because they just keep pushing the envelope with this thing. Who is this? Champagne? Who did this? I don't know how to say his name. I don't know how to say his name.
Keith Champagne.
Keith Champagne, yeah, that's his name. Keith Champagne wrote this book. I'm not sure if he writes every single one of them. I think so, but whoever they're getting to do every single one of these, I love them. There's not a Superman issue that has not gone to the top of my pile. Like, as Superman comes out, I buy that issue. So,
if that tells you anything about superfan Vin,
I like Superman. Shut up. He's everything we should be.
Yes, he is wielding the embodiment of fear, Vinny. He's everything we should be.
But he's doing it to save fucking children. He didn't do it because he was scared. He didn't do it because he wanted evil power. He's doing it to save children. Think of the children, Odle.
What children?
The fictional children in the DC universe. All right, guys. On to my last book here. This one has been a long time coming. They've been advertising this for months. And we've even had 2 issues before this in The Forge and the Casting. Now, some of you guys may know what I'm talking about just by those 2 words, but I'll go ahead and, cut to the chase here. We're doing Dark Knight's Metal #1. And it's Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. Like, do you need to know anymore? Just go get the book. On that. Capullo. I think it's
Capullo.
I don't care what he says. I don't care how he says
I don't care how he pronounces his own last name. This is how I'm saying it.
This is what I'm doing with it. This book picks up with the Justice League returning to Earth after they've been trapped on Mongol's new war moon, where they find themselves in this arena battle, which actually involves, and you may have seen photos of this, Alpha Spectre, but it involves basically a Justice League Megazord. And it's so cool the way it comes about. And they return to Earth only to find a mountain in the middle of a ruined Gotham City. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, you've obviously heard the last issue of... I just keep saying issue. The last episode of Sorta my podcast, because in that Justice League issue, there's a Mount Olympus in the middle of New York City. So, I don't know if these things are tied together. I haven't read the newest issue of Justice League. I have it in the other room. Either way, very similar situations here, which is incredibly intriguing. They figure out that there's a bunker inside of this mountain, and some kind of bunker or lab or something like that. And in there, they meet Lady Blackhawk. She takes them back to Black Hawk Island, where she explains to them that there's this centuries-old full-scale invasion plot. She tells them about, how do you say this? Is it nth metal? Ninth metal?
I call it nth metal.
Nth metal? That sounds right. Nth metal sounds good.
Nth metal.
Where she tells them about nth metal and a dark multiverse, where she bases the theories off of it. Not so much theories, more research off of the actual, like, real life discovery of dark matter and dark energy.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. They're using those to craft this entire new dark multiverse in this story. And she also tells them how it all ties into one name, Wayne. This ends up all turning out to be a plot to, not that it was all lies, but all a plot to capture Batman and keep him there so he doesn't continue to investigate this, which we've learned that he's been doing through the Forge and the casting. Of course, it's Batman, you know. Even Green Lantern makes a comment in this book that he probably had a ride ready to go as soon as they landed on that island. Batman makes off with the last piece of the pure nth metal.
Yeah.
The last pure piece of nth metal, and he books it. He gets the fuck out of there. While he's doing that, though, of course he can't just turn around and run. So he has set loose the Red Tornado, who is keeping everyone distracted while he fucking gets away with this piece, and he returns to Gotham. This ends up leading him to a discovery in the Wayne Mansion, which we're not going to reveal, and a kind of a big, like, mystic return at the very end. Literally the last page. A lot of people are not going to know who this person is. I had to look into it myself. It sounded familiar, but I didn't know. Anyways, be prepared for that. But this is a good start. It's a Scott Snyder book, so of course it's going to have some action. Of course it's going to have, it's going to be a little exciting, but you know this is just the beginning. Think about how Endgame in the New 52, how Endgame started. Endgame started with Batman revealing the Justice Buster armor and fighting the Justice League. So, and that led to one of the most popular Batman stories in maybe the last 10 years. Yeah, so I'm completely invested in this. I can see where a lot of people might pull from it. It's like, oh, whoa, well, you got this thing and you got this thing. These, like, petty arguments to make. We don't have all the issues. And there may be 6 issues as a part of the Dark Knight's Metal, but there's Dark Knight's The Red Death, Dark Knight's The Man Who Laughs. They've got all these side stories. They've got issues of Batman, Superman, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. All these things are going to tie into it. Like, there's a lot that we still don't know about this. With Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo heading this thing up, man, just give it some time, for real. Like, I already love it. And I can get where people might draw from the casting and the Forge, like how frustrating those were because they had all those different artists. It was weird. I didn't like it at all. But you gotta look past that. There's this whole Joker mystery tied into this thing too that we get just from the very first one, The Forge. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm excited for Bob to read it.
Yeah, I can't wait to pick up my copy.
Yeah, and that's why I was careful, like, flipping through. Because I knew that that Justice League mech suit thing, I knew that had circulated online. So even if you hadn't seen it, like, oh well, you know, you'll love how it comes about though. But anyways, you know what's funny? You got 2 things sitting in front of you, and it's almost as tall as my stack. So.
Well, yours is sitting on top of your bags and boards,
and it's 3 books.
This is 12 issues.
That's actually not bad the way they do that shit. Yeah.
Like no ads, no covers, like all that, but there's no extras. Okay, so I've taken a new approach on how I'm going to start doing things.
It's a very fun approach, by the way. I
Right.
didn't say that in the
Like,
message,
for some reason, the phrase got stuck in my head after the last recording. I think someone was talking about a wedding or something. And I'm like, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. I'm like, wait a second. I can do that with comics minus the blue.
Since I'm constantly covering Superman,
You covered the blue covered. So from now on, I'm going to be bringing something old, which this week is Nightwing, the original 4-part Nightwing solo series, something new, Shirtless Bear Fighter, and something borrowed, which is Flashpoint.
Which he got from
I got from Vin
and
to read.
Needs to be passed on to Travis, because we got to get him started on Rebirth.
Right. Okay, so starting out something old. Being a big Nightwing fan, like I've done a lot of looking up his history and stuff like that, finding like some key moments. You know, obviously I have the first appearance of Nightwing when he transitions from Robin to Nightwing and all that.
If that wasn't the first Grail you tracked down, you wouldn't be a real Nightwing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm about 8. Well, not 8. I'm about 6 issues into the big, like, 100 and some issue ongoing series that they had. But I'm only going to cover the 4-part miniseries that happened before that. So, basically, after he became Nightwing, he still did stuff with Batman, still did stuff with the Titans and all that. He's in Gotham. He saves some people in an alley, and Batman's watching him the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, as Batman kind of does, and Nightwing knew. Like, Dick knew that Batman was watching him because he even says something to him over the comms and tells him thanks for not interfering. So they have a conversation on a rooftop, and Dick is resentful for the person that he has become. You know, the life that he has led and everything. And he takes off the Nightwing suit and tells Batman he quits. This is not the life he wants anymore. And he quits. Like, you know, there's some reminiscing about him being Robin and everything else, but he quits.
This is real moment. Like, you know.
Yeah, like, it is a moment because Dick has never really stood up to Batman up until this point. And he's like, you know...
I think there were some times in the single issues, the Batman single issues, like, leading up to this, that he was starting to push
see
back
some of that resentment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he makes the comment, he's like, I never felt that I was good enough. And Bruce tells him, you were fine. He's like, no, I was adequate, but I hated it. I don't want to do this anymore. Here's the suit, put it in your trophy case, give it to the Salvation Army, burn it. I don't care. I'm done. He goes, he sees this chick, he finds out some information that may lead to finding out more about his parents' death. So he goes to this other country where this, like, fucking...
Well, we've all seen Batman Forever, so it's a Two-Face. It was obviously Tommy Lee Jones. Sorry. It bumped into my head.
If you want to be fair, I mean, the guy kind of does.
He kind of does look like someone Tommy Lee Jones could play, for real. Who's this guy?
His name is I don't even remember.
I don't know who.
But he goes to another country to figure out who supposedly killed his parents.
Yeah.
All the while, like while he's in the States, this guy in the other country put a hit out on Dick Grayson. You know, we see Alfred provides him with the new suit, which is the black and blue that we grew to love and we love once again.
Sprawling ponytail that always varies in size.
Like this ponytail. Okay, like if you have ever read a 90s comic, you know that long flowing locks are like just
which is
everywhere.
so weird because the popular hairstyles at the time were like medium to short. And that was it. Yeah.
And that's the thing. This is 80s hair.
Right?
Like, this is 80s hair.
Great 80s hair, I'll give them that. But still, it's 80s hair in the 90s.
And September 95 was when issue 1 of this 4-part mini came out.
Some people just can't let it go.
And, you know, so, what is it? Harold is Batman's suit maker, tech guy, like...
Oh, I forgot about that. He had a guy,
Yeah. So Harold makes the suit. It's got all kinds of cool stuff hidden in it, comm links, all that. What strikes me is as interesting is there's a part in here where he's getting some information about this country from Oracle, and she says, "I'll fax you the information." I'm like, God, this really is 90s.
Hold on, I'll take a Game Boy Pocket photo of it. Print that out.
So, I mean, there's some nice nostalgia. There's some really cool action scenes. He parachutes out of a plane and gets shot at when he goes into this country. There's a scene called The Traitor's Death. If you don't know what that is, you get lowered into a pit. And there are a bunch of tunnels leading into this pit for rats to go into. Starving rats. So that when they get into this tunnel, you're covered in honey before you're dropped into this pit, and the rats eat you alive.
That's next level. That's the level after the level after the next.
Yeah. Dick Grayson gets caught and is about to get put through the traitor's death, but there's another guy down in the pit who goes on to explain what happened with his parents. And he finds out that...
Well, that's convenient.
Right. Finds out the prime minister of this country has been locked away. So, years ago, the prime minister mutilated his own son to take the spot of the prince of this country, who was apparently a real shit. Like, he ordered the death of thousands of people when he was like 8 years old.
Shit.
Like, this is like Joffrey.
He's a real shit. Joffrey, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
So this prime minister has a plastic surgeon mutilate his child. This guy kills the prince. Dick's parents saw it happen.
Why the fuck were they there? They're acrobats.
Because they were performing.
You've got me enthralled here. I've never read this.
Like, Haley Circus was performing in that country.
Oh, they were worldwide, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the prime minister dressed up as a clown, got the kid in a secluded tent, and killed him. The Flying Grayson saw it happen. Now, they didn't order the Graysons killed. It was still who he had initially thought, which it was Stucco the Clown, who was still assumed to be the killer of Dick's parents. So because he learns by visiting the prime minister in the hospital after he's shot and tells the story and all that they did not order to have his parents killed because they were good people. They were innocent, and he knew that they wouldn't say anything.
Nightwing's suit all of a sudden changed.
Yeah, it's a much lighter blue in this light. Yeah, like, and that's the thing, is like color schemes change, hairstyles change, and everything all throughout this. But
yeah, because he's totally got a mullet going on in this.
Well, it's still the ponytail.
Well, yeah, no, I mean it's got the but it looks like it's
very pulled back. But yeah, he's got that pop in the front a lot. But then, like, after all of that confrontation and everything, Batman's waiting on the roof of this hospital, and Batman asks if Dick wants to swing around the city with him, and he's like, "Lead the way." Batman asks if he wants to talk. And Nightwing's like, "He's never asked me that before." So he talks a little bit, and he says, "I learned something else about my own childhood." Batman says, "I'd like to hear that," which was another first. So he proceeds to tell Batman that he takes back what he said in the first issue, that he knows that Batman did the best with Dick with what he had. He may not have been the perfect father, but there's no such thing as a perfect father. It's a really touching father-son type moment between Batman and Nightwing. And Batman asks him, he's like, "Do you have any plans?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to use what I've been given. I've just arrived in the present. I'm moving on to the future." So, and that's where we get into like the Nightwing solo series that went for like 100 and some issues. I thought it was really good, a really good way to set up like Nightwing being his own thing and leading into the
This is really series. The creation of Nightwing. Even though Nightwing started in the Teen Titans, like, this was him becoming Nightwing. Nightwing as a separate entity.
And like in the first issue of the ongoing, he's in a fight with some people and they cut off his ponytail. That's how he loses it. Like,
shit.
That's how his hair goes.
Oh shit, motherfuckers!
But like I wanted to point this out.
This face. Oh my god.
No, that's not when his hair gets cut off.
Still,
he's like, it took me a
yes.
long time to grow that ponytail. And the guy was like, it looks stupid anyway. He's like, actually, I was getting sick of it, but I'd prefer if it were trimmed by professionals.
Oh my god, they have a conversation about hairstyles in the middle of a fight. Oh, that's cool. I like that.
So, I'm
going to have to borrow
glad
that
I read
one off.
this.
Yeah, I'm going to have to borrow that off you someday.
And I'm almost through this first trade. I've only got a few issues left, but it covers... What,
there are 4 of them?
It's there in this first trade. There's the 4 issue.
No, I mean there are 4 trades.
I think I have 4, and they're supposed to be releasing more of them to get all of them out.
I thought you had the whole thing.
No, they're not even all out yet.
Shit.
So, you know, if that sounded interesting to you guys, definitely pick it up. He's still one of my favorite characters. He always will be. He's got a really cool history. He does some really cool shit.
And we should state this for them. I feel like you were clear enough about it, but it was a little jump around. What he just read was only 4 issues out of what? There 6 or 8. No, there are 12 in this entire book.
Well, in the first trade, there are 12 issues.
Yeah.
What I covered, there was a 4-issue miniseries for Nightwing.
Yeah. What he just talked about was just the 4-issue miniseries. There's still 8 more issues in this book just spawning off of that story. So if you feel like you haven't had enough, well, good news, because if you pick this up, there's so much more.
So, okay, so that was my something old. Now on to the something new. Okay.
Yeah, you've been...
There's a story
You've got
to
a
this
whole
one.
campaign on this.
Okay. I have been following this page on Instagram for a while called SBC Comic, and or SBF Comic. It's Shirtless Bear Fighter. Now, the title alone should have some of you intrigued.
Yeah. We've covered... what was it? Grizzly Shark?
Yeah,
we've covered
Grizzly Shark versus Sea Bear. So,
I really wish I was reading more stupid B fucking comics.
And, okay, so Image is the one publishing this. It's Lehiup, Gurner, Vendrell, Spicer, Lamphere. I don't know any of these names.
Yeah, no.
So, and that's the thing. Image picks up some of these people and they give them a chance. The very first part of this comic, someone calls animal control because there's a bear loose in the city. And it's a fucking like 12-foot tall, red-eyed grizzly bear.
Look at this thing. It's got heat vision.
And so the first issue is called Man vs. Nature. Like, it goes from animal control being overwhelmed by this gigantic fucking bear to a scene in the woods where a couple's on a picnic, they start to get frisky, and a bear shows up. Well, in comes Shirtless Bear Fighter.
Oh my god.
But he's not just shirtless. He's naked, and they blur out his dick.
He's all man, too. Look at this guy.
They pixel blur his dick.
You know what? I want to give the artist a little credit here. They don't always go, like, I mean, we've seen a lot of naked men in comics, but they don't always go as far as to add the leg hair. So this guy added the leg hair.
Added leg hair,
chest hair,
arm hair, chest hair.
Oh, and there's plenty of hair up top on the thinking tank there.
And he just gets up in this bear's face and throws a good bear punch.
Good old bear punch.
And it says bear punch. So he beats the hell out of this bear.
Biff Pow is bear punch.
Yeah. It's just a brawl between this guy.
It keeps happening. It keeps saying bear punch. Holy shit. That's awesome.
So the people thank him, and he just walks away. And walks to his bear house.
Oh my god.
That is made completely out of bear hide.
This is so fucking cool.
So there's some agents waiting on him. Long story short, going to jump ahead in the book a little bit.
I'm going to call this episode Bear Punch.
these agents are trying to get Bear Fighter to come and take care of the bear situation going on in the city. And he's like, no, I swore to protect these woods. And they offer him a lifetime supply of flapjacks. He gets pissed at a lady for calling them pancakes.
Oh my god.
And the lead agent, he's like, she meant flapjacks. She didn't know. So, yeah.
What?
The army is trying to take out this bear and fail this one bear. And they're like, let him have it, boys. That bear's rubbing his ass on America, as the bear scratches his ass on a building. And they just start firing. And the bear picks up a car and throws it at these people. Yeah.
Holy shit.
So,
I want this to be a movie.
Right?
So bad. I like, and just to give people like a preference in my movie, like obviously I love like great fucking movies, but I bought this Sherlock Holmes movie because it had a T-Rex and then this like Kraken taking down the San Francisco Bridge. All on the cover. I still haven't seen it yet, but I bought it. And
I feel like you like Sharknado.
I really want to see it. It's got Tara Reid. Like, sure.
Okay.
Like, she's wonderfully awful. So.
But when I say they offer him a lifetime supply of flapjacks and like real maple syrup,
yeah,
he pulls out the flapjacks, flips through them like they're money,
He's
and
then the flapjacks.
And then takes the maple syrup and rubs it on his teeth like it's cocaine.
Oh, holy shit. I love this.
He's like, it's good.
Holy shit. I love this.
So, but he refuses to help him. So, they proceed to tell his backstory.
Oh, we go into the origins now.
His origin is he was raised by a bear civilization. He was born with a beard and a giant dick. He was an abandoned baby, raised by bears, had an evil brother bear that has an eye patch for some reason. Like, he vows to protect the forest from humans,
Disney is
loggers, and
wasting
everything else.
millions of dollars on 2 Jungle Book movies. They made that one that was supposed to be a part of this whole like live action Jungle Book shit. But now the next one is supposed to be a part. They're making another one.
Oh,
Anyways,
God.
they're wasting millions of dollars on that. But nobody's shelling in for this. Like, for real, come on.
He vows to protect the forest from humans, from deforestation, pollution, all that. Apparently, a bear kills a lady, and he just instantly turns, and he vows to defeat all the bears. So, Shirtless swore to fight all bears. So
it seems a little abrupt.
So they're on their way back to the city. The agents are having the story among them. Well, here comes Shirtless in his bear plane.
Oh my god, he has a bear plane.
Think the X-Men's Black Hawk jet made out of bearskin.
That's amazing.
Like, so he goes in and he starts like taking out these 2 bears, and they're like, it's too much. He takes them out. And we find out that evil brother bear is working with some other guy to make all this problem. In the second issue, he's fighting like all kinds of bears. He's fighting stuffed bears. He's fighting like real bears. He's fighting the Chicago Bears, the football team. And then there's a hillbilly warlock that's a pig with cursed devil's bacon that they call the Devil's Belly.
Oh my god!
Like this book,
fucking kneel before Zod. That is awesome.
Like, there are 2 issues out. The first issue, sold out, is in second print. Some people I've talked to said that it's awful. I think that it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's stupid, but it's supposed to be stupid.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, there are some things you just turn your brain off for.
And
Shirtless Bear Fighter is one of them. You hear Shirtless Bear Fighter, and if you haven't shut off your brain at that point to enjoy it, you didn't intend to. So,
right.
All right, we got one more here.
So,
let's try and get through this one a little more quickly.
This is on my something borrowed. It's been out for a while. It's the Flashpoint trade. Now, one of the reasons I borrowed this from Vinny is because I'm like, I've seen the movie.
Well,
I know pretty much the whole story of the Flashpoint.
That's not the entire reason why. It's because me and Bob kept giving you shit about the fact that you hadn't read it, and you said that you had seen the movie and that was good enough. And we're like, nope. Fuck you. Read it.
I am glad that I read this. I am, because there are things in this that
and that's it. That's all you gotta say. You don't need to say the next thing.
But the movie was almost panel by panel this trade.
It was a really good, well done movie. All respect.
Now, those of you, if you've not read Flashpoint, if you've not seen the movie or anything, it's about how Barry goes back and saves his mother from being killed. And changes time.
If you've read anything Rebirth, you may be a little confused because they definitely call back to this a variety of times.
So, with everything going on in Rebirth, Flashpoint is definitely something you want to have under your belt. But it's really cool. He's in a different timeline.
Yeah.
Where his mother's alive. He had a full childhood and everything with his mother and father. His dad died of a heart attack. He's still got his mom. He doesn't have the speed.
Yeah.
But, he finds out all this shit's going on. He has not Earth 2, but he has Thomas Wayne Batman, which is the Batman of this timeline.
Yes.
Bruce Wayne dies, Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne live.
Yes, and this is after he goes back in time to save his mother.
Yeah. In this alternate timeline, Thomas Wayne is Batman. He has Thomas Wayne help him become the Flash again.
Yeah.
And there's a war between Atlantis and
They recreate the experiment that actually gave Barry his powers. It's really like Frankenstein-ish.
Yeah.
The way they do it.
Like the whole thing.
The chair and everything. Yeah.
But it doesn't work the first time.
No.
Those of you that don't know this, it doesn't work the first time. He's covered 80-some, 70-some%, 75% of your body is covered in third-degree burns. He's like, gotta do it again.
Yep.
Does it again.
That's the fucking Flash for you, man.
Does it again, gets his speed, saves Batman from falling onto a spiked fence. Because it's Batman. He has a spiked fence around his
always
house.
falling on spiked fences.
And so, they realize that it's Reverse Flash that, is responsible for
That's right. He is a big reveal in this thing. I forgot that. I was at it in my head that he was at the top of the book for some reason. It's been a while since I've read it, but I know the story.
This is, we also find out in this that Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom, whatever you want to call him.
If you want his backstory, check out SMP episode 18 because I did the whole old and new origins of the of Reverse Flash in that.
But we find out he exists outside of time, which is why he can do all of this time shit.
He has a different speed force. It's the negative speed force.
Right. Yeah. So he exists outside of time, outside of the speed force that Barry uses, while Batman kills him. Yeah. With a sword.
Sneaks up right behind him, stabs him right through the heart.
And he's like, doctor's advice, when you're in the middle of a war, don't stand still.
Yeah.
Some of the one-liners in this, and I vividly remember that line from the movie. But,
They did do a really good job with the film.
But, and then, the stuff with Captain Thunder, and, all the kids instead of just Billy, I liked all that. The Revolution. I love the fact that Etrigan's part of the Revolution, and Grifter. I want them to bring Grifter back. Now, here's the part that I don't remember from the movie.
Oh, no. This is absolutely for comic service.
Now, there's a part where Barry runs to try to catch himself from going back in time. And in doing so, this entity, and I don't know what entity that is.
I think that's Pandora.
It's
my best guess. I think that's Pandora. Yeah.
And, Barry sees 3 different timelines unfolding in front of him, And like I was looking at some of these, and it's like, you know, I can recognize some of these teams, some of these people, like stuff that's going on here. It's making you realize all of this stuff leading
There's
up.
obviously the pre-Flashpoint, everything that happened that he changed by going back in time. Then there's the New 52, Justice League standing there. What is this? Is this Injustice?
No.
This looks like, because that looks like Arkham Batgirl, and that looks like Injustice Supergirl.
But it's like, because that's Nightman, isn't it?
I don't know anything about Nightman.
And then we have Midnighter over here.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so it's got all these
other
different
here,
versions of the universe.
Because that right there, that's Booster Gold and Constantine. Oh no, that's got to be Midnighter and Apollo right there, and then Swamp Thing's in a few of these. So it's like, it's definitely recognizing that there were all of these old stories. But then we give us this setup of what's to come, which Flashpoint is what led into the New 52, right?
Exactly, yeah. After Flashpoint, the New 52 started.
And of course, like, if you've read this, if you haven't, if you've seen the movie, if you haven't, the very end of all this is so incredibly touching. And I finished reading this at work, and I almost teared up.
Yeah, I'll let you tell it.
So Thomas Wayne gives Barry a letter to take to Bruce when he gets back to his proper timeline. When Barry gives Bruce this letter, Bruce starts to read it, and it starts out, "Dear son." Bruce stands up, pushes the Flash away, and just kind of hangs his head, takes his cowl off, and finishes reading the note. And at the bottom of the note, it says, "Love always, your father, Thomas." And we see half a page of just
about
Batman's face, just tears streaming down his face from this letter. And he just simply says, "You're one hell of a messenger. Thank you, Barry." And Barry says, "You're welcome, Bruce." And that's the end of Flashpoint.
Yeah.
And that's such a, like, there are very few moments where you see true emotion out of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And this was one of them, and it will always stick out. And, whether it's the movie, whether it's this, because it happens in both, it's a very powerful moment in comic history.
I mean, Flashpoint is definitely going to go down as one of those, like, legendary stories. Like, this is going to matter for years to come.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. I mean, again, it ushered in the New 52, which is the whole new era of comic books, of DC's universe. And then that led into Rebirth, which is this whole 2-year spanning story. So, like, Flashpoint is still going to this day. And that book, that's 2013, 2014? 2014.
2011.
No,
published by DC Comics.
Holy
cover
shit.
And compilation copyright.
Still feeling
2011 DC Comics.
We're still feeling it out here 6 years later.
Because you got to think, all of the DC stuff was monthly.
Yeah.
And ran for...
See, I think I'm thinking...
for 52 issues.
I'm thinking because I picked up when... Because I had stopped reading comics for so long, and I picked up when the Harley Quinn Secret Origins issue and Harley Quinn #0 came out, which was 2000... Had to be 2013, 2014. So, New 52 was already in swing. I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
And this was before I read Flashpoint. I didn't know anything about Flashpoint. Yeah, so I think that's why I'm branding it there, but because I hadn't really paid much attention to anything else yet. Like, I was still new. I was still coming back into it. Yeah. Because before that, I was reading a lot of Marvel. I was reading Daredevil, and a lot of Punisher, Daredevil, and Spider-Man were the books that I was picking up. The sparse Superman book here and there, the sparse Batman book here and there. But it was all before New 52.
But guys, that's my something old, something new, something borrowed. I recommend all of it.
Yeah,
especially Shirtless Bear Fighter.
Shirtless Bear Fighter sounds so fucking cool.
That's 2 issues in.
And we just said Flashpoint, legendary story.
Yes.
Like, if there's anything in here you can skip, maybe the Nightwing. But if you're a Bat fan, yeah, pick that up. You want to know that shit.
Yeah.
You really want to read those stories. All right, guys. Well, I don't know why I closed my notebook. Guys, that leads us right into the phone booth. Now, we're going to do a little something new here. We're going to have an intro for this once Travis can join us. But here's the new layout for phone booth news. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to try and give you the news faster than Deadpool can change his clothes. Now, that might sound familiar to some of you because the two most famous phone booth related things right now are obviously Superman and Deadpool's teaser trailer. Deadpool 2's teaser trailer. I have 3 minutes, 45 seconds to give you this news. Odle, if you will bring up a timer on your clock there. That would be, Odle is going to time this from now on. I'm going to try and give you the phone booth news. Now, the idea here, I'm not going to be beholden to this. If I go over 3 minutes, 45 seconds, I'm still going to give you the news. But, yeah, it's kind of a game for us. Like,
can we beat the timer?
Can we do it? Can we beat the trailer? Can we save the day faster than Deadpool? So all right. As soon as I start saying the first thing here, what that I have written here. All right. So, in comic news, Duke Thomas gets a new suit and officially becomes the Signal in an upcoming mini called Batman and the Signal. Duke has been training with Batman all throughout the All-Star Batman story and a little throughout DC Comics or Detective Comics. So you might be familiar with this lead up, but yeah, we are finally getting a daytime Batman, which is basically what that's going to be. In Blu-ray and combo pack news, Justice League The New Frontier is getting a commemorative edition Blu-ray combo pack. This is going to include a mini documentary of Darwin Cook's career and a Cook-inspired case. There's no release date yet, but we are patiently waiting for this.
I can't wait for this.
I want it. Walmart exclusive Wonder Woman Blu-ray actually has a really cool inclusive thing with it, which is a wearable Wonder Woman tiara, and I gotta want it.
I'll probably get it for Abby.
Right. This releases September 19th, so look out for that one. In Conroy's awesome news, there was a video that surfaced recently of Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman from the animated series, doing Christian Bale's classic speech from the very end of The Dark Knight. This is the, they'll chase me, but I can take it type thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. In movie news, images of Josh Brolin have recently come out on Ryan Reynolds' Twitter, and they look awesome. He looks great. Is it comic perfect? No, but that was Liefeld art, so really
you failed to mention that it was Cable.
Did I?
Yeah, you didn't.
I just said Josh Brolin. Ari Williams Cable of Josh Brolin as Cable in Deadpool 2. So I didn't write any of that down either. In other movie news, very sad. Haru Nakajima, I really hope I said that right, has passed away at 88. Now, if you don't know who that is the original wearer of the Godzilla suit from the 1954 film. A suit that was made of a metal frame, ready-mixed concrete, and latex. Weighed about 220 pounds.
Holy shit.
Japan had a rubber shortage after we bombed them. So, said that really hesitantly. But, I mean, those are the facts. So anyways, yeah, this guy was a legend. He donned the suit 12 times throughout the Godzilla franchise. The final time being Godzilla vs. Gigan in 1972. But he also played King Kong in King Kong Escapes, Baragon in Frankenstein Conquers the World. Just a ton of other kaiju things. He had a long-spanning career. Credits going all the way up into 1973. So we definitely lost a legend in that respect. And in streaming news, Disney is separating from Netflix for its own streaming service. What this necessarily means, we don't know the details of yet. There aren't many, but this shouldn't affect the Marvel Netflix series. That is the one thing that I found out is like it shouldn't. But again, we don't know.
Right.
They're still hashing it out.
To go a little bit further on that, Netflix did acquire Millar World to make up for it.
Yep, they did. Netflix has Miller World, which should include Huck and a variety of other great Mark Miller stories. And the final bit of streaming news, Punisher's Netflix series has a teaser trailer out. It's not much, but it leaves us with a little taste. And that is your phone booth news. What did we? Oh my God, we came out 2 seconds early. 3 minutes 43 seconds. I did not expect this to happen on the first time we did this. Yes! All right.
So we saved the guy before Deadpool.
This will not happen every time. Like, for sure. But, oh wow, we finally got through phone booth news without it being an entire 15-minute segment. So yes, those are your, that is your phone booth news, guys. You can see and read all of these articles and more on the Sort of My Comics page. Just hop on over there, give that a like, and so you can get the latest updates on everything that we're following, all the news that we keep up with. Most of it's from comic book resources. So, like, I mean, we're not gonna hide behind like, oh, this is original shit that we typed out. No, we get these from everywhere. Anyways, the last thing we really want to talk about today, guys, is Defenders. That just came out Friday.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about episode 1. We could talk up to episode 2.
Yeah.
Because
I haven't had a chance to watch past episode 2. The wife and I watched a couple episodes last night when I got home from work.
I have seen I'm in episode 5. I haven't seen all of episode 5, but you've missed out a little bit.
So, like, after we're done recording tonight, I'm going to try to rush home to catch another episode.
For sure. You got it. I feel a little robbed because Luke Cage. But now this is something I said all the way back to the Rebirth episode, which is available now on the YouTube channel. But yeah, I was saying there has to be some sort of lead-in. Like, there has to be something that happens from the Luke Cage going to jail at the end of the first season there.
Now, see, we knew that this was all taking place months after each of these series ended.
Yeah, we knew that, but I feel robbed because, like, that there's got to be some good Luke locked up stuff.
I feel like we'll get that in Luke Cage season 2.
Yeah, but the way they describe it in the beginning of this is like, you did the whole thing without throwing a punch and blah blah blah. You did your time. Like they're really giving it no mind.
Because he was
whatsoever.
Like, all of that paper pushing paid off.
Yeah.
You know, you survived a whole stint in prison without throwing a punch.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about the lawyer side of shit. Like, they cannot possibly carry even half a season based on what they've given us so far.
I don't see our next season of Luke Cage being like mostly in prison. I see us getting like flashbacks.
I want some.
We'll get some fleshing out of the prison time for sure.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Just
like it happened.
I can guarantee you that we will get fleshing out of why Danny and Colleen are in Cambodia.
No, I mean, we have that explained.
Well, we understand that they're chasing the hand.
Yeah, they're chasing,
and that's pretty much
how they end
the entrance to Kunlun to Cambodia.
That is how they ended the season, isn't it?
Yeah,
the season of Iron Fist.
Kunlun was gone.
Yeah.
Now they're in Cambodia, which that opening scene with Danny, I kept thinking that was Colleen.
Yes, that is exactly, because I watched it. Okay. So we'll get to why it was weird that I watched this with my son for just a moment. But I had my son over for the night, and I was like, hey, I gotta watch this for the podcast. You want to watch it with me? So we watched Defenders episode 1, and as soon as the show opened, because I knew he hadn't seen any of the other stuff, I was like, that's Colleen Wing. She's a buddy of Iron Fist, and blah blah blah. And then as you were saying,
they start like attacking each other and chasing this guy down a sewer and all this.
And then you've got Danny. He comes in and he's fighting. Now he's fighting this chick with swords who we thought was Colleen Wing.
It was like,
and then all of a sudden there's Colleen Wing. Like, what?
Yeah, like me and Tiff were sitting there. It's like, why is Colleen chasing that guy? What's going on here? Like, what's Colleen doing? Because like you see the swords and all that, and it's like, and then all of a sudden there's Danny kicking, and it's like, why is Danny fighting Colleen? Did Colleen go bad? Like, what's going on? And then Colleen is like, wait, that wasn't fucking Colleen? What?
Who the hell is that? Right? You don't find out till the end of the episode either.
No.
Oh, do you know who that is?
We don't find out who killed that guy at the end of the first episode.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Should we give it away? Should we,
No.
Should we go spoiler free?
Yeah, we'll go spoiler free.
All right.
We'll just talk, you know.
We'll do spoiler free.
Well, okay, mild spoilers, but nothing like...
Yeah, nothing that's
like,
going to kill you.
super plot revealing and all that.
Shit you should have guessed. Yeah, I mean, no. I feel like that Danny gap is easy. Like, you don't even need to show anything. Like,
right.
I feel like they've already explained that Danny gap, I don't feel robbed of that.
Well...
I feel robbed not getting to see Luke Cage in prison. So,
well,
like, I hope they do it for the next season of Luke Cage.
I feel like that's kind of been what they've done.
There.
Because remember, in Daredevil Season 2, they did it for the Punisher.
Yeah.
So...
very little, but they did.
Yeah.
Another thing I had to note about this is, and I don't know if you noticed this, but I think I stopped noticing it around episode 4. But definitely within the first 3 episodes, almost every time you see each individual character, the lighting is beholden to that character. Like, Luke Cage is yellow, Danny Rand is green, Jessica Jones is blue, which should be purple.
Bluish, yeah.
But bluish.
And Daredevil's red.
And red, yeah. They definitely use these lighting cues for each of them, and it's not literally in every scene that they're in.
But it's one of those, like, if you look for it, you'll notice it, but if not, you'll just... Yeah. You'll think that it's just the changing of the scenery.
Yeah, the casual fan will not catch this, but I absolutely did. And it was, I feel like the intro helped with that.
Yes.
From where they flashed these colors with each individual
like
person.
That, I feel like that really helped to let us know, like, these people have color schemes.
Yeah.
Like, heroes have color schemes. They always have.
It's not necessary, but it does.
Yeah,
it is a thing.
So the fact that Danny is more associated with a greener tone, Luke's associated with yellow, and we get to see him in the yellow shirt and the jeans.
Yeah,
which is very.
Because Jessica Jones
the...
makes a comment later on, in I think it's episode 4. It's like, let me know when they fit you for the costume. And I'm like, since the dude left the prison, he's been in this one pair of fucking clothes. Like, he's got the costume.
Yeah. Like, I need Danny to have his suit.
Right. I'm, like, it's episode 5. We still haven't seen we saw the Daredevil suit in one moment. I think it might be episode 1 where he opens the chest.
Yeah, I think that was episode 1. I think that was how the episode ended. He opens the chest and looks at it.
And he has not put it on yet.
Now watch. This is only 8 episodes, whereas most of the Marvel series on Netflix have been 13.
Yeah.
So, which I'm fine with, because we don't have all this setup needed for the specific characters.
Right.
So, you know, we're getting right into all of this. We know that, like, there's shit going down with the hand. Within the first couple episodes, I feel like I know the story that's developing.
Yeah, but I mean, we are comic readers, and we've seen everything leading up to it.
So I really hope that the wall that they're encountering, like, this is the like secret entrance to come on. Like, I feel like that's the direction they're going, which, if it is, that's taking a page directly from the Immortal Iron Fist, because, like, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones were involved in that, like, which, granted, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are fucking married in, like, current comic
book continuity, yeah.
But I know that Luke and Claire are kind of a thing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is made very apparent as soon as they get home.
Luke and Night Nurse. Fuck. For real.
Like,
oh, wow. Okay, and this is what made it weird. Watch it like it. Like, okay, all right. Me and my son. Not to get too personal, but we've had the talk. But we're sitting there, we're watching it, and they're just talking, and then all of a sudden, boom! Oh my god! And they're at it fast, and they're at it intense.
Like, they go from being out in public talking, and I think it's time we get that coffee, to back at her apartment, fucking on the table.
And fucking, like, oh man! And I will say this: it did something to me, like with the leggings. Like, I dug that. Anyways, this isn't that kind of podcast.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah. Anyways. So we both looked at each other at the exact same time, and he had this he's like, "What the fuck, Dad?" Kind of look on his face, and I had this like, uh-oh.
It's like,
Look on my face.
Shit, didn't expect that.
And no, that's pretty much what I said to him. I was like, sorry, buddy, I didn't think that would be in the first episode. Because I expected it in the show. I did. Like, I was like, at some point, someone's fucking in this show. It's been in almost every season of all of them. So, I expected it eventually, but I did not think, like, episode 1 and that intensely.
Right?
Like, well, son, I should have said this. I was like, that's the bar. That's what you gotta live up to right there.
Like,
because guess what? Ladies are watching this show too. So that's what they're expecting. It's just destroy his entire sex life
before it even
starts.
But like the first 2 episodes I've seen, they're good setup. Like things are going a lot smoother as far as like Iron Fist choreography goes.
Right. And our villain, which kind of gets dropped on us, but not in a bad way, Sigourney Weaver.
Right.
I cannot wait to see, like, because Madame Gao's afraid of her.
Yeah.
And as we find out later, like, I feel like I can give this to you and like,
I know who she is.
Yeah. Well, Madame Gao, Sigourney Weaver, and a couple other people are the 5 fingers of the hand, one of which is dead now, because Iron Fist. But, oh shit, I just ruined Iron Fist.
Oh, no.
Anyways, Sigourney Weaver seems to be the finger of the hand, because it seems like the rest are doing what she says.
Right.
I mean, Madame Gao is obviously terrified of this woman, because we've never seen Madame Gao not coy. Not poised.
And it was their first interaction in the park where Sigourney Weaver's character, she's talking about how, you sit and think all this used to be forest and, surprisingly they haven't torn it down to put up high rise and all that. And then she gets up because she has a bag of like breadcrumbs or something, and she gets up and she's like, she hands the bag to Madame Gao, which if you've watched Iron Fist, you don't fuck with Madame Gao.
Right, yeah.
Hands the bag to her and be like, finish feeding the birds. They're starving today. And walks away.
Yeah.
Like, and for those of you
for sure.
Like, those of you that don't know, the 5 Fingers of the Hand was a group of individuals who were part of Kunlun. They were immortals, all this and that. They didn't like the way that things were going in Kunlun. They left and formed the Hand. A little bit of comic history for you there. But that's what her character and Madame Gao are. They are fingers of the Hand. But, like you said, the fact that she is feared by Madame Gao, who we know is someone to fear, speaks volumes of her character already.
Really, yeah. And now she's controlling Elektra.
Right.
I feel like that doesn't give away really much of anything.
Which, I mean, in the trailers, we see Elektra. We know that she's going to be a part of the series.
And if you watch season 2 of Daredevil, you know that she died. And if you know Elektra's comic story, you know that she dies and comes back to life.
Right.
Which, again, season 2 Daredevil, I still stand by the fact that there should have been Bullseye in that. He's the one who kills Elektra in the comics. So, and it's a big fucking deal. Leads to Shadowland. So now how are we going to get Shadowland?
Hey, maybe she does.
Well, okay, a lot leads to Shadowland, but Bullseye's a part of that. Anyways, Elektra is next level. And she's next level. She's powerful now. I mean, she's got super strength, apparently.
Yeah, like the scene where Jessica is chasing her down the stairs in the 2nd episode.
Yeah.
Like, in Elektra, you just see her, Jessica looks down the stairwell, and you just see her, she's down these stairs in an instant.
Strip tossing these stairs like they're nothing, for sure.
So, we know that Elektra is a big player in this series. I personally don't know exactly how big of a player she'll be.
I feel like she's going all the way to the end. Me being on episode 5 now, a little into it.
Right.
Yeah, I can tell you she's there for the long haul.
Now, my goal is to have this finished before 5 o'clock on Monday.
Really?
Because, tonight, go home, watch an episode. Tomorrow, get home, watch at least 2 or 3 more episodes, finish it up Monday during the day.
Fair enough.
Because Abby starts school Monday. I can watch the rest of it after she goes to school. And
What are you gonna do when Punisher comes out?
Do the same thing. Watch a couple episodes each night, and
Yeah.
But
so what can we can't really say much about the characters in this. We talked about Sigourney Weaver and Elektra, their next level and stuff. Everyone else is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
If you watch the other seasons of these
know who
Netflix
the
shows,
characters
you know
are.
who they are, and that's what they bring to the table. Still feel like Danny Rand maybe a little off.
I feel like Finn Jones is still
he hasn't really
he's
changed.
Still
anything.
getting into the character, and
which is bad. Which is a bad thing because you got an entire season to get into the character, and now you're in this.
And
so.
I don't know if it's the writer's portrayal of Danny Rand or if it's Finn Jones' portrayal of Danny Rand.
I think it's Finn Jones. For the most part.
Because, okay, there was one scene, he's asleep on the plane having the dream about all of the dead monks and all of that.
And this isn't to say he's a bad actor. Like,
right.
If this is how Iron Fist was, he'd be doing great.
Yeah.
But it's just everyone else. Yeah, everyone else is portraying the character from the page that we know.
Right.
And he is not.
Now the Iron Fist or the Danny Rand in the dream that was in like the robes and all that, like that, like Danny Rand has
that's a Iron Fist, a version of.
Like Danny Rand's always been, he's always been a smart mouth kind of character, but he's always been like always thinking ahead, always like he knows his escape route before he needs before the situation ever comes up that he may need an escape route.
This version of him seems to be like more childlike than necessary.
Yeah.
And like, a little more in the moment. Like he kind of like changes his mind as shit is happening.
Yeah, and one of the things that still bothers me is he is still very untrained.
Oh yeah.
He is still very new to using his abilities.
In this show, and you'll see this more in episode 3 when you get there, he's carrying himself around Daredevil like he's Daredevil's superior, like as far as like training and shit goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's thinking very highly of himself in the face of this guy who he's seen go. And like like on that aspect, Danny Rand, like, okay. He's very childlike.
Well, Danny Rand is supposed to be a superior martial artist.
Yeah,
he's supposed
to be.
Now, like, in some of the fight scenes we saw in Iron Fist, some of the things that I've seen in, like, the trailers and what I've watched so far, like, he does show more of his skill of martial arts. But, like you said, he's still very childish about everything because it's like he's still adjusting to being away from Kunlun.
Yeah.
But the other thing about that is they jacked that all up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so one of my biggest gripes about these series is going to be Iron Fist because of how bad they screwed it up.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where the further along you go out of it, the less stock it holds.
Yeah.
It's like Batman vs Superman for me. Like when I watched that movie, I didn't think it was great. I was not impressed, but like I was like, oh, the fight scenes were cool and this is cool. But the longer time went on after I was out of that movie, I started like I kept thinking about it and I was like, oh, this fucking thing sucked and wait, why does he do this and all that other stuff. So it's the same thing with Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Like, after I finished Iron Fist, I was like, that's cool. That was cool. And the more I think about it, it's, oh, wow, that is the black sheep of all of these so far.
And I think part of that is still going to go into the fact that they were so up in the air with Iron Fist for the longest time. And his show was more or less thrown together almost last minute.
Yeah. Well, we got what we got, and it's not really killing this so far. And as far as story goes, it seems like everything's coming to a head from everything we've seen before. So again, there's not much we can say there. It's just this is the logical next step, and I'm excited to see where it ends up.
Oh, I am too.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot we can elaborate from a technical standpoint on this because this is stuff we've said about the other shows. It really is. It's like talking about the Marvel MCU. It's like you could talk about the Avengers movie, but if you've already talked about Iron Man, you've already talked about Captain America, you've already talked about Thor, you've talked about Avengers. And really all that's left to say is like, no, this thing was cool. Like Danny fighting Luke Cage in the second episode.
Yeah.
In that alley.
That was fucking great.
So awesome. He's kicking him in the face and like, dude's not moving.
Nothing's happening.
But then he finally like summons his chi and just rocks fucking Cage's world. And it's just wow, because like later in that episode, he has to go get an ice pack. Luke Cage, of all people, was getting an ice pack for his jaw. So that was really cool. It's a good show. If you've seen the others, I suggest it. If you haven't watched any of the others, honestly, if you haven't watched all of the others, probably avoid this, like, because it all does converge. So yeah, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Daredevil season 2, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Defenders. There you go. That is your Netflix
and that
MCU
is 13, 26, 39, 52, 65 plus 8 now. So that's only 73 hours. You could take a weekend. You could take a 3-day weekend. There's a holiday weekend coming up soon.
Sleep.
Most people are going to have a Monday
Do not
off.
stand up to make any food whatsoever.
Listen, some of you are going to have a Monday off coming up here in a few weeks because of Labor Day or Memorial Day, whatever the fuck is in the fall. I think it's Labor Day.
It's all there.
But you're going to have a Monday off. When you get off work on Friday, just start... give yourself like 15 minutes between each series to grab yourself some food and gear up for the next one. Alternate. Give yourself 20 minutes for food between Daredevil season 1 and Jessica Jones. After Jessica Jones, give yourself a 20-minute nap before starting Daredevil season 2. Just alternate it like that, and you'll be caught up in no time.
You'll be all right, for sure. But yeah, this is pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it. All right, I think this is a good place to wrap this thing up. There's a new series shit. Actually, there are 2 new series shits up. We put one up 2 weeks ago after SMP because we could not pass on talking about Sorta while it was fresh. And now it seems to have died. So good for us. We're doing that lately. We're getting on the shit. We're jumping on it when it needs to be jumped on. And this does not mean like our podcast is close to the quality, but we were breaking news before Weekly Planet on the last episode. We broke some shit before Fat Man on Batman. So yeah, and I'm like, that's not their fault. He had scheduling shit. So again, it does not add to our laurels at all. But we're doing it. But yeah, two episodes of serious shit. One that came out 2 weeks ago, one that came out last week. New one's coming out in a week after this. So, and another new thing that's up, Alpha's Unboxing, which I did not watch until today. Today, the day of recording. When did you do that? Was it Monday or Tuesday?
It was a couple weeks ago, I think.
What, weeks? There's no way it was weeks.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely no way it was weeks. But yeah, you did a new Alpha's Unboxing, and you chastised me a bit for not watching it while it was happening. And I can't remember why I didn't, but I had a good excuse. And then it just kind of slipped my mind, like the whole time. Like I knew I was going to watch it. I knew I had to talk about it on the podcast.
And I mentioned you, and I had something for you.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell your awesomeness.
And this unboxing, it was from the Loot Crate Loot Vault because I missed being able to do an unboxing for my Loot Crate last month, so I did a Loot Vault order and I unboxed that for everyone. Well, while Vin was helping me clean up my comic room some, he came across my reprint of Action Comics #1 and talked about how he really wanted a copy to
kept
be able to read.
Making like slide jokes about you want me to take this back to my house for just hold on to it and shit stuff like that.
I managed to snag one in this loot vault sale that I brought down to Vin the Human. Our big blue Boy Scouts #1 fan. You know, so, he's never had
SMP number 20. I'm doing Action Comics #1. No, maybe, I don't know if I read it. But anyways, yeah. So he was awesome enough to do that and get me a flask because I was asking him if he had a flask that I could borrow at one point, and he didn't. And I was like, why the fuck don't I have a flask? It got him questioning why he didn't have a flask. So we ordered 2. But yeah, okay, so I've got it up here August 10th. We're recording this August 19th. It's going to be uploaded August 21st. So usually like shy of 2 weeks ago. I watched it today, and it was good. You've got a lot more energy in it now and stuff. I think it's coming along. I think it has room to improve, but it's going to get better. I'm handing you off a tripod because that whole wood in the corner shit was awful.
Trying to get my phone set up right is just the fucking worst.
So yeah, we're gonna be improving that as time goes on, but it's coming along. I'm gonna get you a cue card for the social media shit. It's a good chunk of your episode. It's just you like going through all the Instagram and the Twitter and all that shit. So yeah, we're gonna be working on it and stuff, and eventually it's all coming to YouTube anyways. So.
One of these days, maybe I'll be sponsored. Who knows?
Yeah, right? So guys, again, comment on this video. Anything you disagreed with, agreed with, you want to talk about, you want to get your 2 cents in there. Yeah, you never know. If we get comments, there may eventually be a segment where we talk about the comments, where we focus on the comments. Who knows? But one thing that I do want to do on serious shit, we made a Saraha, I made a Saraha account for Sorta My Podcast. It is sortamypodcast.saraha, SARAHAH.com. If you go there and you send us a message, let us know anonymously about our podcast, what you think of us, what you think about all of it. And we may read all those on a serious shit. We'll do a whole episode of serious shit just talking about what you guys think about the podcast anonymously. So again, that is sortamypodcast.saraha, SARAHAH.com. And go there and leave us a message. Again, guys, my name is Vincent Herman, Vin the Human, sitting to my left.
James Odle, Alpha Spectre.
And I think it's time to cue that badass outro music.